Yeah, we're good.
We're recording, yep.
We're rolling.
Rolling. Is that like just sound effects it makes of your fingers moving, or it sounds like that?
No, it's like sound effects, like that's computer-generated sound effects.
Yeah, that's fucking wild, that thing.
Yeah, dude.
Is it crazy? Does it sit upright? Like you can display it standing up?
Yeah, you can. So there's this lock button here, right? So you make a fist, then you lock it.
Now
I can like display it like this.
So you can lock it flipping the bird too, or that's all I just?
Yeah, I think so. All right, let's try it out here. There it is.
So for the audio listeners, Seth has got one of those full-blown replica Infinity Gauntlets.
Yeah.
They had one at Comic-Con one year that was like, I think you could win it, and it was like a movie scale replica. It was in the big case and everything. It was fucking crazy looking. Like I think of like movie scale how big it was. It was huge. And
they're like running around with it.
Yeah.
You know, like final fight scene, you can see how big it is. But
yeah, right.
I've wanted that for a while, and I was like just bored at work one night, perusing the internet, and came across it. You know what? Fuck it, let's do it.
The coolest.
You only live once.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we were talking about those title belts we had.
Yeah.
Well, we had those. The coolest thing they did, or not the coolest, probably one of the smartest things they did, was, in Endgame when Hulk has that other Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
That goes on your right hand.
Yep. So does Iron Man's, right? Well, I mean, that's the same one, right?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just made it, like, fit.
Exactly. So that's why you can have Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet on your left, and then I think they call it the Power Gauntlet on your right.
Yeah, I see they do sell that one, too.
Yep.
So
that's funny.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd start out with so instead of what we've been doing, we've been ending with some rapid fire shit. Let's start out with some rapid fire shit, and then halfway through, maybe we'll start a little format here, and then halfway through we'll get to the topic of the episode, which is going to be video games, because I'm excited to hear what sucks about Madden currently.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to do, which I didn't get to do last week, was I wanted to shout out Al Day. He's Redbeard Pirate 1 on Twitter. He's the dude that gave us our cool logo.
Oh,
yeah.
I had no idea who you were just talking about. But
I didn't think so, but yeah.
Yeah, so he did. That was very cool. Very lifelike. Looks good.
Exactly. Yeah, and it threw that in there. He does the work. He does work for the Jaded Wrestling podcast as well, and all the podcasts they do to promote their episodes. So yeah, no, that was super cool of him to do that for us. So thanks, Al. I don't know if you listen regularly, but I know we chat on Twitter all the time and shit like that because he's a wrestling fan, comic fan. So yeah, that was very cool. We love it. Yeah. Could use it to death now. So next did you see the Cobra Kai trailer?
I did, and I can't fucking wait.
Right. So tell me again about when you first started watching it, because anybody who's missing Cobra Kai is missing out completely.
So I remember when it first came out. I remember you like raving about it on like Facebook and whatnot. And it was on like YouTube. And this is when like TV series that came out on YouTube I kind of felt were kind of corny. And I remember seeing the trailer and I was like, and I was a huge Karate Kid fan growing up. I watched all three of them 100 times each. Loved it. But I saw this trailer. I was like, it's kind of hokey. Like, it's like two has-beens just trying to like relive the glory days. And I was just like, So I kind of just stayed away from it. Then like I would hear people talking about it. And I was like, you know what? Let me just check it out. So me and my wife went to Aruba for her 35th birthday in January. So on the flight there, I was like, you know what? I see that they're like 30-minute episodes. I'm like, they're probably real quick. Let me just try one. Dude. 5 minutes into the first episode, I was like, like how much of a degenerate Johnny Lawrence was.
Yeah.
And just like the way he's cursing and stuff, I was like, dude, like the premise is corny, but it's like the furthest thing from like there are corny parts.
But it's a very serious take on it, which it makes it awesome.
Wholesome, like good feel, like type stuff.
Yeah.
But then like when Johnny gets into his like fucking benders and he's just a fucking man. I mean, dude, I just started ripping through episodes. I think I watched like 8 or 9 on the plane.
Yeah, I remember you texted me when you got to Aruba, like,
Yeah,
bro,
it's like
I've been fucking missing out on Cobra Kai.
Oh, dude, when I got to Aruba, right? I'm in Aruba now. Like, Aruba's my favorite spot to vacation. It's fucking paradise, right? But all I wanted to do was watch more Cobra Kai. And like, what's funny is like, when we'd go to the beach for the day or whatever, then we'd go back to our room, and like, when my wife's getting ready for like dinner, I'd have like an hour. I'd rip off like 2 episodes, like on my iPad, like in bed in Aruba,
I was up both seasons.
And then, like, as sad as it was leaving, I knew leaving the flight back, I could rip off like most of season 2. It was like, oh, it was great. I fucking loved it, man.
It was, yeah. The first 2 seasons I knocked out in a day, and I stayed up until 5 o'clock in the morning both days knocking out. I was so hooked on it.
Like, when they release this next series, forget it, man. It's gonna be.
Is this season 3 or 4? This is
season 4.
Yeah.
Like, they released this, I'm ripping that off.
Yeah. I can't recommend it enough. Even my wife, like Crystal.
Oh, I've rewatched it, and like then my oldest got into it,
Oh yeah.
And obviously some person, but like he loves it, and like there's enough in there, like the action's kind, like the fight scenes are kind of cheesy enough that would, like,
they're kids, so it would get his attention.
So,
and it's good where
times, and it's great.
You don't have to be a huge Karate Kid fan to enjoy it too, because they very much take the original premise of the first one and they dive deeper into the Karate Kid. But if you didn't know Karate Kid, it's still a whole new take with fresh characters and everything.
You could totally pick it up, and they do enough flashbacks to like fill you in where you wouldn't feel lost. Like, I've been telling my wife to watch it, she won't, because she's got the same thing. Like, but like I feel like it's a show that like anyone can watch and anyone can enjoy. Like, even if that's not up your alley.
That's what I was gonna say.
I just think it's that well done.
Yep. And everybody sleeps on it because they think it's Karate Kid or whatever, but it's so good. The storytelling's phenomenal.
Yeah, like Johnny's relationship with Miguel, and like how it builds, like how he's just a completely standoffish dick, and then like he gets very close to Miguel, and like, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, the character development is phenomenal. The way Johnny is a fucking mess, but then he kind of pulls his shit together.
Yeah, and then when LaRusso and Johnny like finally like go out when Johnny's like test driving the car.
Yeah.
And they're
like, both listening to 80s music.
Yeah, and they like bond over it, and they're like kind of like, and then like there's moments where they're like, oh man, they're getting along, and then like something ruins it. Yeah. Then they'll get along again, and something ruins it. But every time they're about to get along, you're like, yes. And then
it's so good. Could make just do a whole episode on fucking.
But now that they're on the same team, and you can see in the trailer. Like, they're both trying to get across the same message. They want they have the same mission, but they're just gonna go about it 2 completely different ways. Johnny's rough around the edges, and
that's exactly the case. Johnny says the shit everybody wishes they could say, and then Daniel is like, he's still trying to be a little PC and teach the kids with care. Johnny's like, no, fucking suck it up, you bunch of pussies. We're not doing this shit. And I loved it from the moment I saw it. It was so good. It blew me away. It blew away all expectations. And it stemmed from, I don't know if you ever saw, I think it was a video that somebody put out where they kind of touched base that Daniel is the real villain of the Karate Kid series.
Yes. Yeah. Someone like plays a YouTube video and they play it like perfectly to where it looks like Danny is the villain.
Yeah. And then that's Johnny's whole thing. Oh, well, it was an illegal kick to the face. All right, I don't want to hear it. And then he talks about how, this guy just came in and he just threw my radio at me for no reason.
Yeah.
And it all stemmed from that into probably one of the best shows I've ever seen, and that's no bullshit. Yeah. And nobody who doesn't watch it, and I don't know what you're waiting for at this point, because everybody who talks about it talks about how good it really is.
Yeah. So then, because like I got caught up in that so much, I went back and rewatched all 3 Karate Kid movies because I loved them as a kid. And then I was like, you know what? Now I want to like dive into them. And now like that I'm older, like pay attention to small details. And I'll tell you what, man, Karate Kid 3 to me is number 1.
It's awesome. Love
because
Karate
Michael
Kid
Barnes is like a legitimate badass. Like,
oh yeah.
Like I remember being a kid and being like scared of the scene where Johnny and his boys are chasing LaRusso like at that Halloween party.
Yep, dressed as skeletons.
And like Miyagi comes and bails him out. But dude, like Michael Barnes is a legit badass. But it also makes it funny because if you watch the last scene, the tournament,
the last fight is a joke.
So LaRusso against Johnny was an even back and forth thing, and he won in like sudden death, right?
Yeah.
This one. is an absolute fucking ass kicking from start to finish. Barnes scores a point, then he does something illegal to negate the point. Scores a point, negates a point. Does it fucking 5 times
and doesn't get disqualified.
Like overtime, and LaRusso gets this like lucky bullshit off because he's hitting him with the fucking stupid whatever.
And Johnny's got to sell it so bad, like he fucking broke his face with one punch.
What a fucking joke, man.
Yeah, I love 3. I love 3 for sure. I love 3 because Terry Silver is fucking phenomenal too.
And dude, that fight scene where
Miyagi takes on Kreese and
Kreese jumps out behind the cardboard cutout, and then Miyagi's mocking Silver. That one's like legit awesome. I mean, they're all good. 3 is my favorite.
That's definitely the one where when you get older and you watch 3 and you watch the ending, because I didn't remember watching it as a kid. I didn't really get what happened. You just kind of know he wins. Yeah. But then you're watching it and like, wait, he's getting a point, losing a point. Like he's done this a bunch of times. He didn't get disqualified at all for losing his points.
Fucking ass kicked all over that match.
Yeah. Daniel gets this lucky shot at the end, and he's the big fucking hero.
Yeah.
But I know definitely I've seen them all so many times, except the next Karate Kid. I've only seen it twice.
I can't be bothered with that.
Yeah, but definitely the first 3, original 3 are so good.
Yeah.
Also this week, did you watch the trailer came up for Stranger Things season 4? Did you watch Stranger Things?
Nah, dude. You know what? I watched season 1. I really liked it, and I kind of lost interest in the middle of season 2.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with that. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people. Oh, that's right. We talked about it because I think we went to see Star Wars one time. Where actually I thought season 2 was great. A lot of people thought season 2 was shits compared to 1. I like season 2. It's been so long now. I don't even remember it. Season
and are they like grown adults now? I mean.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what the trailer shows you. All their voices have changed and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the trailer doesn't explain much. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's the last season, going to wrap everything up. But that's another thing that was like super popular out the gate and then just kind of died out. I remember when the first season came out, it took the fucking world by storm.
Yeah, it's very interesting, very original. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I kind of lost interest season 2. But.
Yeah, another trailer that came out, or a small teaser, which I don't know how much you'll give a shit about this, but it's something to talk about because it's kind of a big deal. A teaser for the TV show for the comic book Sandman. So Sandman was written by Neil Gaiman. They did an audio play on Audible. It's very good, and it's just a very popular comic book. And now it's finally going to be a TV show, and it's going to fall in line with like Lock and Key. There's another TV show on right now that I've only watched like the first episode or half the first episode for. It's called Why the Last Man. That's on FX. It's another comic book TV show. That these are like groundbreakingly good, award-winning comic books that are getting TV shows made after all this time. Like Why the Last Man was in development for years and years and years, and finally it's out. Same thing with Sandman. Sandman's been around. I think Sandman came out in like the 80s, and people are just now turning it into a TV show.
Did Lock and Key show come out already?
Season 2 comes out this month.
Okay. How did you like season 1?
I liked it, but it doesn't come close to the comic.
Well, dude, I think that's the thing with. You know, you always hear like when like a movie's made after a book, and they're like, the book's better, and you hear it, you're like, but honestly, the books are always better. Like I'm a huge Friday Night Lights. Like I like the TV show Friday Night Lights, but I first fell in love with the movie, and that's based off a book.
Yeah.
And that book is fucking one of the best books I've ever read. And as awesome as that movie is, after reading the book, I'm like, yeah, the book is better. You know?
Yeah, you have to put yourself in that mindset. Like Walking Dead was the big thing for that. Because Alan, our late friend Alan used to love Walking Dead too. And we both read the comics a shitload. I got him into the comic and he loved it. And then we watched the first episode or first season of the show. And it was good. But then like there's a whole episode the whole episode is not in the comic. Yeah. He wasn't able to come back. Like he watched the show and then eventually got sick of it because it went too far off the rails. I still watched it to enjoy it, but then like once you lose, like I kind of get it now because that's how it is that the book's always going to be better. They are going to take liberties and try to do things a little bit differently, which is fine.